What's up, dingus?
What's up, garlic head?
Mm.
Get it? It rhymes with bread, and you put the bread in your head.
No, you texted me a couple hours ago and you're like, when are we recording? And I'm like, I gotta eat garlic bread first, so it's gonna be a minute. And then I did that. I just ate half a loaf of garlic bread and now I feel more like myself.
As you do.
Well, like, the world is a shit show and it's winter. What the fuck else am I gonna do except slam garlic bread in my face at my house? It's a perfect plan, actually.
I told you I experienced so many levels of emotion in 20 minutes when I walked to the gas station today because it was not raining. I started to walk. It started to rain. I was walking back. The temperature dropped 10 degrees and it started snowing. And I was like, how long did it take me to walk to the gas station? It felt like a month.
It's a mess out there. The backyard is a mess right now. I feel so bad for Toad. Shout out to everybody's poor dogs that have had to go outside in this bullshit. Dogs are the best.
just a reminder to everyone.
A quick shout out to dogs, period. I love them so much. They're all that I ever want to talk about or think about.
Dogs always deserve a shout out.
Dogs do always deserve a shout out, especially Toad. Toad is always doing the most for the world and society.
Watching Toad rip apart a box from the movie Seven was a highlight of my day.
He makes so many different faces. He's just a little clown. I love him. Did you watch any of the California FireAid concert last night?
I did not.
Listen, I'm going to tell you all about it because it was crazy. There was a 6-hour live, like, kind of telethon concert.
Yeah.
Last night, and I kind of like glossed over the names. I don't even know who I like anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, oh, who's big? I don't know. Whatever. So I just put it on. But then I ended up watching I literally watched the whole thing. I watched all of it. I like skipped ahead a little bit because some artists would play like a lot of songs. I'm going to give you the highlights right now, and I'm going to say a couple surprising things that happened, and you're going to be surprised. Okay.
All right.
Firstly, out of all the bands, literally all the bands and all the artists, do you want to know who the best one was out of anybody who sounded the best, who put on the best show, who was the most into it? Rod Stewart. Fucking Rod Stewart, bro. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Listen, the show started with Green Day, who obviously not so much in the later years here, but in my early days, I was a huge Green Day fan. I was in love with Billie Joe Armstrong for a very long time. Green Day just stood there. They just stood there and they look miserable and they don't fucking do anything and they don't do anything punk rock and they're fucking boring. Same with Weezer. If you guys have ever seen Weezer, you've never seen a more boring show in your whole fucking life. So then I watch, a couple people go by, blah, blah, blah. And here comes Rod Stewart like a breath of fresh air, just full.
Wait, before you get into Rod Stewart, let me go back to what you were saying a second ago. I've been in a lot of bands throughout my life.
Mm-hmm.
None of them were ever really any good.
Mm-hmm.
So we knew we had to give you a show.
Yeah, give us a show. Why are you standing there?
I have no idea why bands can be really technically good, but if they're just standing there, I don't know what I'm doing at the concert.
Yeah,
I might as well just listen to the record.
Yeah, why you look miserable? Do you know the entire world is watching right now? You're just standing there. You look so boring. Ugh.
When we hired our lead singer for Smokehouse, he could not sing. We knew he could not sing, but he was insane.
Yeah, just go off.
Yeah, we didn't care. The first show we played with him, he didn't know any of the fucking lyrics. I told him, just scream through the songs. It doesn't matter. We're a rock band. Like, just go for it. Nobody knows the songs anyway. We're like a local band.
Yeah.
He jumped backwards into the drum set, cut his back open,
jeez,
climbed up the curtains of St. Andrews Hall, fell down like 9 feet of stage.
That's a show you remember, not boring ass standing there behind a microphone stand doing nothing.
Yeah, crazy.
God. So I don't even remember the order, but no, it was a while later. But anyway, Rod Stewart comes out, just silk zebra shirt, open really low with a matching zebra jacket on, literally dance. And this stage is huge. It was an arena stage. Dance from one side to the next, This whole fucking set was shimmying around, like opening his shirt, telling little jokes on the mic. I almost said microwave. I have a problem. Anyway, on the microphone, he was so freaking cute and his voice sounded so good. And that was the other thing. Billy Joel's voice sounded shot as fuck. And Rod Stewart sounded perfect. perfect. And Rod Stewart is 80 years old.
I was about to say, so Rod Stewart is the same age as my father.
Yeah, it was incredible. He was incredible. Every song he sang Maggie May, I was like, this is amazing. He sounds amazing. Anyway, so listen, I'm like taking you through the whole show in order, right? I'm not saying every artist. I'm gonna touch on highlights. Listen, the most depressing.
Uh-oh.
No, not depressing. Just like downgrade of the century. Just like suck the air out of the room. The person that they had follow up Rod Stewart, who just electrified, was John Mayer.
Ooh.
And it was just like John Mayer unplugged, standing there playing. It sounded like dude in a college dorm room, and it was so low energy.
That's what he is.
I know. I'm like, and if I were him, I'd be like, I'm not following Rod Stewart. It was crazy. There's no way. I've honestly felt so bad for him because it was such a like, here's a Vegas show act and it's amazing. And then here's fucking John Mayer standing there alone.
Ugh.
It was rough, dude.
Never been a fan.
I have not either. Listen, I know there people are. I understand he can sing. I understand he can play guitar, but
he's a Juilliard guy, right?
I don't know what.
I think he's like a classically trained Juilliard musician.
Yeah. So that was nuts. Just like the
dynamic of that.
Yes, of like, yeah, like, oh, that this seasoned person, I don't know, it was crazy. So I honestly felt bad for him in that moment. So anyway, so then shortly after, and this is like the biggest people in the world are playing, and it's in 2 arenas and they're kind of going between. So then this was crazy. Out of nowhere, the Black Crowes, Chris Robinson on stage. I'm like, you almost just spit your drink out. I swear. And he was so sick. He was so in the zone. His outfit was so sick. He had on sunglasses. He sounded so good. That was not, I'm like, what am I watching? Oh, this is crazy. And then like he went away for a minute and I forget what happened, but then he came back and he sang a song with Slash on guitar and Chris Robinson. I'm like, this is nuts. I'm telling you guys, it's nuts. So yeah, that was sick. And again, like this was later on and it went through a few people who don't entertain anybody. And then
how did I not hear about this?
I know it was not, there was nothing about it on Twitter either. There is today, but like getting people ready for it, there was no hype.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he danced around like crazy, like rock star strut, like he put on a show. You know who is a fucking rock star and who's not. And it was so obvious between the acts of people, like who has stage presence and who doesn't. And he killed it. And then it got boring again for a while. And then No Doubt was on, which usually it's Gwen performing by herself now, but it was like the whole No Doubt crew was together and she was full garb and like bright red lipstick and dancing around. She danced a lot. She went off. They were great. And then I would say the craziest part of the night for me personally, for a lot of people, was there was a Nirvana reunion with Dave Grohl on drums. Pat Smear was on the side, Chris Novoselic, and then obviously they don't have Kurt Cobain. So they did 4 different songs and they did a rotation of like iconic female singers.
It's the only clip that I saw was Joan Jett.
Yeah, it was in my Instagram story. So the first one who came out was St. Vincent, and I don't remember what song they sang. And then second one was Kim Gordon.
From the Sonic Youth.
Yes, and that was crazy. Joan Jett was third, and she did Territorial Pissings, which was crazy.
Great.
And I'm literally watching this at I think 5 a.m. The progression of the show was so crazy that I couldn't go to bed. I just kept watching it. And then lastly was Violet Grohl, who was like Dave Grohl's daughter, did No Apologies.
Oh yeah, I think they've done that before, I think live in concert.
It was so good. And then Kim Gordon was out for that one too. It was so good. That was nuts.
Gave Kim Gordon a ride once.
You did?
Yeah, her and Thurston Moore. Sonic Youth was doing a show in Detroit, and they did an in-store signing at the record store I worked at. And their car never came to pick them up to take them to the show. So I had to drive them to the show, and then they got me in for free.
I feel like there's lots of Detroit stories like that. Like I've been in cars with people I shouldn't have been to, and I'm like, how did I get to this moment?
Do you know what a Dodge Omni is?
No.
It's one of those little cars that looks like egg that they made in the like 80s.
Yeah.
So that's what I had. And Thurston Moore is like 6'8". and I'm
Oh,
six
geez.
two. And so the three of us in my little Dodge Omni was like, I was praying that my car did not break down because I was
Oh,
like, I'll
God.
drive you, I'll drive you, I'll drive you. Like I get to drive Sonic Youth.
Yeah.
And the whole way there, my car is like, I had to take Woodward because I was afraid of like,
Yeah.
like going on 75.
Yeah. Just go your whole car in a hole.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we finally got there. They played at the Latin Quarter, and they finally got there, and they were like, "Where are you going to come in?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then I went
Yeah.
backstage and hung out with Sonic Youth and Red Cross.
That's sick. Now they're playing for the world.
Yeah, doing some weird Live Aid show that I never knew was happening.
I know. Yeah, and like Stevie Nicks played, she played for too long and ended up getting kicked off the stage. They literally spun the stage around. Because everybody else, every artist played like 1 to 3 songs and then they got off. I'm not even lying, she played for like an hour. Just it was nuts. It was good, but like Joni Mitchell played. It was a lot. So then anyway, the only other notable thing that I thought was weird that like broke my brain a little bit was Stevie Wonder was on and then Sting was on and then they did a song together, which was crazy. And then just this whole show, I'm kind of like Googling people and seeing their age because it was, like I said, I'm like, some of these people are putting on a show and some aren't. And they're like 30 years younger than these
Yeah.
people. And all the older people are just so much better at putting on a show. So anyway, the thing that broke my brain was Stevie Wonder is 74. Sting is 73.
Yeah.
Is that weird? Don't you feel like in my brain, I'm like, wait, I feel like Stevie Wonder's been playing since the 50s or something, but that don't make no sense. And then I'm like, how are they? Don't they seem like they should be like 20 years apart in your brain?
The difference is that Stevie Wonder did
Yeah.
start performing at like 11.
Right, right. I'm like the style of music and like in my head and like the clips that I've seen and I don't know. It seems like
Because if you think about like Stevie Wonder in the 80s, him and Sting seem to be the same age.
Not to me. They seem like they're from different eras in my brain. I can't, it broke my brain.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so that was fucking weird. But yeah, so the whole concert was great. It's on YouTube for free. You can watch the whole thing. That was the thing. It was on no social media last night. I didn't see any build up for it. But then last night, if you open up YouTube at all, it was simulcast on every single big music artist's page at one time. Your whole feed was like John Mayer, Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, blah blah blah. Every single one of their channels was live playing the show.
I had no idea any of it was happening.
Yeah, it was nuts.
I forget too when I say things like in the 80s, Stevie Wonder and Sting seem to be. I forget that you're younger than me, so your perception of the 80s is different than mine is.
Yes.
Like when I think about, like, because what you're talking about reminds me of Live Aid, which was in 85.
Yeah.
And so you were much younger than me in 85.
Well, they did one of these too for 9/11.
Yeah.
Because that was another cute part that happened during this was Billy Crystal came out on stage and he's like, this was important to me. Well, he said his house burned down and he's lived there for over 40 years and it was really sad. And then he was like, this was important to me because like when they did the 9/11 telethon in New York, I was the person to come out and like, introduce it or whatever. So he's like, I wanted to do this one too, but it was crazy. Yeah. So besides music people, there was like movie people and stuff coming out in the middle and they would play like clips of fire footage and like they think a lot of the first responders were there in the audience. It was crazy. Lady Gaga closed it.
Now that you made me think about Live Aid, Phil Collins didn't perform, did he?
No.
Okay. Do you know why I'm asking that?
Did he do something crazy on that show?
During Live Aid in 85, it was being broadcast. There was a concert that was happening in London. And then they also had bands in Philadelphia performing. And Phil Collins performed at both.
Dang.
He played in London, got on a plane, flew to Philadelphia, and then played again.
That is nuts. That's sick.
Or vice versa. He might have gone from Philadelphia to London. I'm not sure.
That's nuts. Yeah. There was a lot of like younger people too that are like popular, not like TikTok-y people. I don't know.
Like people you don't know.
I did a little bit, but not.
But like when they announced like rolled up potato and M614.
Literally. Yeah. But it was like folky girl singers and like the crowd pop was so crazy. I'm like, oh, all these little girls know who these people are and I don't know who they are.
Yeah, yeah. I just saw on YouTube literally not more than an hour ago. I was going through because my algorithm's so fucky on YouTube. And it was this like TikTok performer. I do not know what his name is, but it was like this TikTok performer and he's like on the street in Rome and there are literally like 3,000 people around him singing his song with him. And I'm like, who is that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll never know. That's the thing. There's too many like micro famous people now that we'll never know. I run across people all the time. I'm like, oh, they have 15 million followers on Instagram. I have no idea who they are. I have
I
no idea
know.
who you are. No idea. But some of them are good. Oh, I will say another person who was really good and came off like obviously like voice strength was so fucking good and worked the stage from side to side was Alanis Morissette. She fucking crushed it.
Oh, jeez.
I know. It was crazy.
Since you're talking Rod Stewart, I would suggest everybody watch his video from the 80s called Infatuation, which is about him stalking a woman and then maybe being a reincarnated gangster at the end.
What?
The video makes like he's literally just stalking a woman through the whole video, taking pictures of her swimming, peeping in her house with a camera, and then like at the end he is also a gangster and he kills his stalker self.
That's weird. That's really uncomfortable.
The 80s was wild with cocaine.
Well, I feel like too, like now, especially with social media and stuff, you can be so in charge of like your image and what you want to project. I feel like before they would just be on a bus fucking people, and then some creative person would be like, "Okay, we worked out your whole video, we wrote the whole script, we wrote the whole thing, and then you just come do it." And they're like, "Okay," like he didn't write that shit.
No, 100%.
Yeah,
That's why in the 80s, that's why the videos in the 80s are so wild.
yeah.
There's a band, again, here's another video for people to go and watch. There's a band that in the 80s called Go West. And they have a song called We Close Our Eyes. And it's literally the lead singer is wearing a dirty t-shirt, dancing with a wrench, and there are marionette puppets behind him.
It sounds like the Nutter Butter of social media.
It's so crazy.
Crazy videos. Oh, Pop Tarts is getting in on the crazy social media game more now.
Jeez.
I know I love when social media or big companies are weird on social media. I love it. But anyway, so away from the LA FireAid concert, now we went to an advanced screening of new rom-com horror movie Heart Eyes last night, like heart eyes emoji. It comes out on February 7th, so we saw it about a little over a week early, and we loved it.
It's for me.
It's for both of us.
Yay.
It was so much fun.
It's always fun when that happens.
I know, it's rare. But yeah, it's by Christopher Landon and Michael Kennedy, who did Freaky, Paranormal Activity, and then it was directed by Josh Rubin, who was in A Wounded Fawn, and he was in Creep Tapes. The Creep Tapes. And he directed and acted in that Scare Me movie that you like, but I still have not watched it.
You should watch that.
I'm gonna. So yeah, we're big fans of that whole crew and follow everything that they do. And I follow all of them on socials. And Michael Kennedy followed back the podcast on Instagram. Hey.
Yay.
So yeah, in Hard Eyes, there Devin Sawa's in it. Mason Gooding is in it. Mason Gooding, you will recognize from the last two Scream movies.
It took me a second to figure out that's where he was from.
Oh, I knew instantly.
I knew you knew, but it took me a second.
What's her name? Jordana Brewster's in it too. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a perfect mix. It has like when you say horror comedy, that could mean like there's like one joke in it or two jokes. Like the balance of rom-com movie and horror in this movie is like almost 50-50, 60-40.
Yeah, it's perfect though.
There's so many times where it's not just a slasher with kills the whole time. It has like a real story and like real connection to the characters.
It's even got what do you call it? Like costume change scene. That you would find in a rom-com, trying on outfits.
It has lots of nods to popular horror movies and rom-coms, and it had some very cute cameos, and
we had friends there.
Yeah, we did. But yeah, the design of the villain in the movie is really cool and really satisfying and scary. It was honestly scary too, because listen, I've watched a lot of horror movies where I'm like, oh, the movie's over, let me go about my life. But after this movie, I had to stop at the post office, and where else did I do? It was because you went to the bathroom after the movie, and I walked back to the car, and I was literally a little bit scared when I walked back to the car. And then I went to the post office, and I was a little bit scared again. I was like, dang, that movie fucked me up a little bit.
You know what's really good about the movie, and this isn't any kind of spoiler or anything for the film.
No spoilers, Adam Berry.
But just the way it's constructed, it could go on forever.
You mean franchise?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I want like 5 more of this movie already. But yeah, it was sick. I really liked it. I can't wait to watch it again. Perfect holiday movie.
There's a lot of good, like we talked after the show, and there's a lot of good, like, there were some moments that got me, like,
Yeah.
not like jump scary moments.
Really good gore, but like not gore that like people are gonna barf or like people like if you can't watch gore, you can watch this. It's done in like the tone of Scream. It's not done in the tone of Terrifier.
Right, exactly. And there's a character in the film that doesn't like the sight of blood.
It's true. It's true.
It's a pretty funny scene
It's
too.
so good. Yeah, I know everything. It was seriously the balance of like scenes that were so flippin' cute and then scenes that are just yucky and gross. Perfect.
I give it all the stars. Good job, everybody.
Great job, guys.
We did it.
Well, they did it.
We didn't do it.
We
They
didn't
did
do anything. Just talking about it. I do have like 1 million ideas for horror movies though, and they're all saved in my phone. And there's a couple where it's like I really need somebody. I'm gonna write a horror movie. I feel like.
I have a good one that I've had for 10 years.
Well, do something about it.
I know. And then you went home and I went to the bar.
Yeah, you did.
Then I stayed out, got a little tipsy, and then came home and passed out.
Good job.
Thanks.
The only other thing that I've watched since the last episode is a new horror movie that dropped on Shudder called Grafted. Did you watch it?
I did not watch it.
You said you're gonna watch it though, but it's kind of in the same vein as The Substance. It's got like some medical weirdness, and this is where I explain it really bad.
I know, I'm ready for it.
There's a girl whose dad was working on inventing a thing that like heals skin or wounds or something, and then I can't. I forget if she moves or has to go with her aunt or something. But anyway, so she goes in, she's in a new situation and she's trying to, I'm really not doing this on purpose.
This is great.
This is one of my worst ones ever. So anyway, so she's trying to figure out the way to make this thing work. But then she gets like, bullied. And then basically she starts cutting people's faces off and putting them on her own face. That's what I was trying to get to. But it's really good. It's pretty gross. I wouldn't recommend it for people that don't like gore, but to me it was like funny gore. It was like 80s gore. I don't know. I loved it. It was really good. So if you guys like gross and like kind of girly, it's like a mix between like The Substance and Mean Girls, which I think is great.
Okay. The original Mean Girls, not the remake musical.
No, not the remake, but it's called Grafted on Shudder. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, I haven't really watched anything else besides that. Oh, one more tiny tidbit of movie news. They announced in the last couple weeks that Robert Eggers is going to make a werewolf movie.
I know, I saw.
Oh my God. Set in 13th century England with dialogue that is true to the period, in theaters, Christmas 2026.
I need to talk to that guy.
We all need to talk to that guy, but he don't have no social media and he don't like anybody, so we're never going to get to talk to him. That's why his movies are so good, because he is nowhere. He is an enigma, and he should stay that way.
I agree.
Yeah.
I have, I want to ask you and the listeners a question on something, their opinion of what should happen.
And you think I explain things bad? Can you get to what are you trying to say right now?
So my father that I talked to today wanted to get some pictures taken off of his tablet and made into physical pictures. So he took his tablet to Walmart and they took the little SD card out of his tablet and they said, there's no photos on your SD card. They must just be saved on the tablet. So he said, okay. And the girl working there said, let me look through and find the pictures that you want. Okay, so this is the end result. They deleted all my father's photographs.
Oh, how does that even happen?
For the past 3 years.
How does that happen?
I don't know. So my father,
Are you
now
sure he didn't delete them all before he went?
he looked at them to make sure they were there, because he wanted to see which ones he wanted to print before he went to the Walmart. So he looked at them that morning, took it to Walmart. The girl had his tablet for an hour and then said, there's no photos on this tablet.
They can't be gone.
If they are, this is why I need your opinion and the listeners' opinions. They can chime in. My dad said if they deleted all his photos from the past 3 years, he's going to sue Walmart.
Do it. I don't know what the fuck he's gonna sue for, but like pain and suffering.
Well, like he's got all of his, like our trip photos photos when I took him to West Virginia are on there.
Oh.
All of his recovery photos from his skin surgery are on there.
Well, that is not a great loss, but continue.
But to him it is, because it's something that he's like proud of, that he's got pictures of himself before and after. Those will never be able to be made again. He's got a ton of pictures of like family stuff and my mom's stuff, and they're all just gone.
They gotta still be on there. You know, they sent them to like the trash can, and then where the fuck are they? They can't just be gone.
So he ended up taking it to like a computer professional store, and they now have it until next week because it's up north, right? And so the only guy who knows how to work on the tablets isn't there until next week.
Oh my God.
So they're sitting with his tablet for the next week. And I told him to call me and I'll talk to them. But he is convinced that the girl at Walmart deleted all of his photos. And if they did, he wants to sue them.
I mean, I'm all for whatever avenues that will make us rich somehow. Just tell them to sue for like $10 million. See, the thing that should have happened is all you need to do is go to like Walgreens.com and you upload your photos and then they print them out for you. I don't understand why he even brought a physical anything there.
He doesn't have internet.
He doesn't have internet.
No, there's no internet where he lives.
He should have. I can't. I hate this story. I'm getting so frustrated. Why didn't he just bring his thing down and then you could upload the photos on the Walgreens.com and then print them out? God, they're not going to be gone. They can't be gone. Like, computers can go through a fire and then they find your shit on that. Everything.
I'm hoping the same thing.
Well, thoughts and prayers to your dad.
Yeah.
Pictures. I do want him to sue. I think we'll just have to find something else to sue for. Sure, there's something. Well, we're all going to start eating fucked up food and not know about recalls. So we'll all be suing somebody soon, probably.
It's just the thing that I have in my brain is I have to remember that he's 80 years old and people are telling him stuff when I'm not around that to him sounds right.
Yeah.
Like when he dropped his tablet off at the computer place
Yeah.
that has it until next week now. And they're like, the guy who works on tablets isn't here till next week. That's not right.
No.
And then the guy, when he dropped it off, said, sometimes it gets deleted, but it's never really gone. And that can be thousands of dollars to recover.
No.
Yeah, I told my dad, no. I said, no, it's not thousands
we know
of dollars.
20 people that will he should just not go to them.
I know.
Just bring it down here. Also, and that's, I think, a valid point is, at what age do you stop asking people? Like, if you don't know how to fucking do something, can you just ask somebody how to do it? What, your pride is so big that you can't ask? I mean, I'm not good at asking for help either. I don't know why I'm even saying this out loud because I never ask people for help either, but let this be a lesson to people out there.
But he did try to ask somebody. He took it to Walmart
But I mean, he should have asked you to help with
I know.
but he didn't because
I know.
you just keep us abreast of that fucking situation.
I will. Trust me. I spent an hour and a half on the phone with him today as he told me the story over and over and over again to make sure that I was clear on understanding it.
Do you want to see my segue into not being able to ask for help?
Yes.
I was going to tell you about this and I didn't tell you yet, but I did tell Katie. A while back, I got this rug for the living room and I've hated it ever since I fucking got it. And I made you help me put it down and put the couches back over it. And every day since I've hated looking at it. So I'm now selling it on Facebook Marketplace and I got a new rug. And guess what I did? I ordered furniture movie wheelie things off of Amazon and I fucking did all of it all by myself.
Oh my God.
It comes with a jack and it comes with these little wheelies that you put under the furniture. And I moved both couches by myself. And you know how fucking heavy listen, you guys, I have a sectional and in one side of the sectional is a king size fold out bed. The one side of the couch weighs 1,000 fucking pounds. And I put it on these wheelie things and I moved both couches into the dining room. I moved that rug out onto the porch all by myself. I put down the new rug and I rolled the couches back into place all by my fucking self.
Good work.
I know, can you believe it?
And you didn't ask for help once.
I didn't ask for any help. If you guys could see the situation that transpired.
I would have loved to witness it.
So proud of myself. So proud of myself. For real. I did really good.
I love that you're losing your mind.
I'm losing my mind. I'm inventing projects at my house that shouldn't exist. Oh, it is very silly times over here. I'm just like Willy Wonka in my house alone. Cool. Me and Toad are having a good time. And everything looks really good. It's coming along, I'll tell you. And here's another silly story that goes to all the decorating and trying to fix up my house I'm doing. I found a ottoman on Facebook Marketplace for $20 from this rich lady's house in Lake Orion. And I went and got it. And I thought, listen, we've had this discussion before, I think, about how pets hate change. They hate new things in the house. They think it's weird. They won't go by it. They won't touch it. I thought he was going to hate it. I thought he was going to be scared of it. I thought he wasn't going to go on it. Listen, he's on the ottoman. All that, he's just perched on the fucking ottoman like a gargoyle all day long. He perches on the ottoman and stares right and directly into my face.
Good work, Toad.
It's great. He has claimed the ottoman, and he will get a toy in his mouth and perch on it and stare directly into my face. And it's really good.
That's a good sign.
I know, we're both nuts over here. We've both lost it. But it looks really, everything's really coming together.
Everything's coming together as it's coming apart.
I can't look at the computer all day long or I'll die. So I have to make projects for myself. So through my existential dread, my house is going to start looking really good.
Yeah.
So that's my advice for everybody. Oh, one more tiny tip, you guys. If you want to change your whole life, this is like a 10-year-old life hack that everyone's already done except me.
Okay.
The fucking, I don't even know what they're called. Like a Wi-Fi phone thing, thermostat that you control from your phone.
Smart thermostat?
Thank you for what I said in one word instead of 20 words. But listen, I had my brother put one in my house during the summer, and now that it's winter, the literal joy in your brain of putting up the thermostat while you're still in your bed before you get out of your cold ass bed into your cold ass house, and you put the thermostat up and then it's nice and toasty. Ooh. And then when you go to bed and you forget to turn down the thermostat, and then you just do it from your bed.
Such a different world, because my house is constantly at like 64 degrees.
I know, but it's the little things, honestly. And it's been like, this has changed my life. The ottoman and the smart thermostat are just really coming in clutch.
My version of your smart thermostat is by my bed. Before I go to sleep, I hang a sweater, and that's where my slippers go. So when I wake up in the morning, I put my slippers and my sweater on.
Well, I do that too. No, but this would be like if you had a little robot standing there and it like put your sweater on for you or something, which maybe someday you'll have that.
Nope, I will never have that.
No, you won't. You would have it if it was 100 years in the future and then you bought like a 60-year-old robot because you were trying to be like vintage guy.
That's true.
We're so stupid.
The problem is there's no 100 years in the future.
I know. There's not even going to be like 8 more. Oh, I know. I just keep thinking I'm making my house look better and doing all the things. And it's like, well, smoke them if you got them.
Yep.
I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know what anybody's doing. Good time.
We're all just hanging on.
I know. We also got to try and get more episodes up faster.
I know.
Because the last 2 months, not so hot on our part.
I know.
But you were gone for part of it. And I've been having ongoing medical bullshit happen in the background. So we're doing our best, guys. But I would like to get back to more episodes.
We will get back to more episodes.
Plus, we have like nothing. Like, what are we gonna fucking talk? I'm literally in a frozen box in Michigan.
Yeah, but there's stuff coming up that, like, at least for me,
Congratulations.
that I'll be able to talk about.
All right. Well, makes one of us.
We've got Tombstone coming up in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We have a 10-10-10 in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm. Tenny does a live stream in our Patreon once a month where you can tell him stuff or ask him stuff, and he dances around and sings songs.
The 10th day of the month at 10 p.m. 10-10-10.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll just start going out more so that more chaotic things can happen to me and then I can talk to you about them.
I just like really the seasonal affective disorder has really hit. I just can't wait till it affects me mentally when I can't walk the dog every evening anymore, and it affects the dog. I hate it.
Multiple times a day,
Mm-hmm.
I stand by my sliding glass door
Mm-hmm.
and just look at the outside.
I know. It's crazy, and it's not even that much time, but our little spins around the block to like clear my head and like just be out there is so important. And when it hits this part of the year, like I'm usually good. Okay, in the winter, it's like I got through December, I got through January, but when that like February 1st area hits, it's like I have nothing left.
Let me just tell you something really funny that happened today. So I was standing in the kitchen and I saw my big fat chubby squirrel run across the street.
Mm-hmm.
And he did that thing where he stopped in the middle of the street, like on an intersection stop.
Mm-hmm.
And he stopped and he stood up and he was looking around. And I was like, get out of the fucking road. And then eventually, like, he kept sitting there. And I walked to the window. The window's closed. I'm in my house and I'm screaming at this squirrel. I'm like, get out of the fucking road. What are you doing in the road? Like, in my house by myself alone, I'm screaming at the squirrel that's standing in the middle of the street. And later in the day, I walked outside to get my mail, and my neighbor across the street was like, I heard you in your house screaming at that squirrel. That's how loud I was yelling at the squirrel.
That scares me because there has been a couple times in the last couple of days where I've yelled in this house out of frustration, and now you're making me think that people can hear me.
I had no idea my neighbor across the street and 2 houses down
Jesus.
could hear me yelling at the squirrel.
Damn. Now you're a crazy squirrel guy.
Yep. Well, what's new?
Officially. You've always been unofficial.
That's true.
They're going to put your face on a flyer and circulate it around the neighborhood. All right. I think that's it.
Yeah, I'm all done.
Good job, everyone.
Good job, everybody. Good job holding it together.
I know.
That's a success in this day and age, holding it together.
It is a success.
We appreciate and love you.
Yeah, we appreciate and love you. Thanks for all the nice messages. Shout out to all of our Patreons. You're lovely. We have a nice time in the chat every day. I don't know if I told you about this, but I separated our chat into Happy Main Chat and what we've called the Bummer Basement. Because listen, you guys, you know how it is when you open social media and you're already having a bad day and then everything you read is bad and then you want to insert whatever here. It makes you feel nuts. So that's the thing. Our Patreon chat is such a happy place. And then obviously times are tough right now. So people would go in there and say sad or bad things. And I'm like, no, I can't have the happy chat. So you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
Right.
You can't have the happiness interrupted by the tragedy.
I'm like, if somebody's already having a bad day, they can't go to the happy place and see a bad thing. So I'm like, if you don't have the mental capacity right now to deal with a sad or a bad, then don't open the Bummer Basement. Just stay in the other one. So they're separated right now. Everybody really likes it.
Good.
I know. I'm doing cute things over in the Patreon. So if you guys want to hang out, patreon.com/whatsupweirdo.
And subscribe and like on YouTube.
Yep, do that.
I didn't even say that jokingly. I meant it.
I know. We make cute videos.
Hit that subscribe. Smash that like.
I can't take you seriously.
Hit that ding. Hit that notification bell.
You're a ding bell. And then shout out to our podcast sponsor, OuterRealmsCandles.com.
Boop, 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 boop.
Look at Outer Realms Candles on Instagram. They have 3 different Woopod scents that you can buy, and they smell so good.
Rain, dirt, and worms.
There's a dry boy alien one, modeled after the Mexican fake dry aliens.
That's a real alien.
There's a gnome, like a foresty gnome one, and then there's a Coco Loco for Toad that smells like Coco Loco.
What does that smell like?
It smells just like hot chocolate.
Oh,
it doesn't
that's good
smell
to
like a crazy dog. That's only for me to enjoy.
All right, I'm done.
I know, I'm done too. I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll talk to you later.
Great job, everybody.
Good job, everybody.
Okay, bye, guys.
Okay, bye.
Oh my God, bye.